Hey everybody, it's David from the Distance Project and Physiology First. This is sort of an unofficial video. We're going to kick off an official YouTube channel focused on Physiology First and put out consistent material around the initiative for students to help students mitigate anxiety and stress and reach the edges of their potential, both academically and beyond. I'm excited to kick that project off, and we'll actually kick it off this weekend, but I wanted to, hanging out here, just getting ready to go for a run, and I thought that I'd throw the camera on and just have more of an informal chat with anybody who's watching or who cares about Physiology First, our main-based initiative for students to overcome anxiety and reach their performance potential. When we think about the drivers for human behavior, and there are many, environment is a driver, externally, and internal environment is a driver. We have to start with the environment that we have some agency over. So we're putting students in a school, for example. They have no agency over their home environment, or very limited agency. They have no agency over their geographic environment, or limited agency. Maybe they live in, well, whatever neighborhood it is. Every neighborhood has its own challenges, right? So they can't really change the external environment at home. They can't really change the external environment that the home and the school are in. And it's very, very hard for them to change the external environment of the school. They have no choice in that matter. So you have three very low agency positions and one very high agency position, which is their internal state. And their internal state is both psychological and physiological. We have to begin to ask, as a society, medically, professionally, as coaches, as scientists, as anybody thinking about this, as teachers, what comes first? Do we address psychology first? So do I take somebody whose heart rate is jacked to the moon, whose skin temperature and pupil dilation and internal gut health state and neural state and cognitive state is in a position of extremely high anxiety and stress, which will ultimately alter their perception. It has to alter their perception of the environments that they're in, and then tell them to toughen up, try harder, be positive. Do I try to address the psychology first, or do we address the physiology first? Do we say, okay, somebody at a heart rate that's inappropriately high for sitting in a classroom, and somebody whose respiratory rate, they're breathing like they're hyperventilating at an extraordinarily high rate for sitting in a classroom, that I'm going to ignore those factors which are going to alter their perception, their ability to learn, their ability to uptake new information, their ability to remember things, memory recollection, is going to all be significantly altered. Or will I address that first and then begin to address the psychology? It is really hard to teach humans who are in a state of high stress and high anxiety. And that's because our neural function, our cognitive function, the brain regions responsible for uptaking new information, are not as active as they would be or could be if we were in an internal state of safety versus an internal state of threat. And this is something you can really dig into with the brilliant work of Stephen Porges and polyvagal theory, and the role of the vagus nerve. We as people don't really get taught how we work. But this is not ambiguous, abstract information. It's kind of out there, right? We are still trying to figure out what we are in the larger picture of the universe, but we kind of have an idea around how the brainstem works, the vagus nerve works, the human brain works, the gut-brain relationship works. Like, we're learning more about that, and I believe we really need to start applying what we're learning. I meet adults who are, in their 30s, their 40s. They often don't know their quadricep from their hamstring. That's not an insult, it's a fact. They have no idea. And they have been given no tool to manage their internal state. If I ask most adults, hey, do you have a tool to manage your own heart rate? So you're going to go for a job interview, or you're going to have a tough conversation, or you're going to be on an airplane and you're nervous about flying. Do you have a tool to manage that? Do you have the access to that dial? And 9.5 times out of 10 person says, no, I never even thought about that. Well, that is probably a problem, because I can lower my heart rate by changing my patterns of vision and breathing. We have a bidirectional relationship with our body. It's biological processes. So if we can give people tools to access those internal dials around feeling better, feeling more awake, feeling more alert, being able to actually remember what they're being taught in school, apply it in a real world way, succeed in the academic environment and beyond, that's powerful. And I believe that has to start with the foundation of physiology, and then you build from that foundation positive psychology. That's what we're working to do through our initiative. So right now, we're looking for more partner schools, more educational partners, concerned parents, concerned students. Let's pull students into leadership positions in this. And let's begin to ask better questions about how we navigate the future, which is going to require high agency, high performing people who have control of their internal state in any external environment.